Hey everybody, hey everyone. Wow, what a day. And you know, I have to I have to give a very weird shout out to Dr. Death because I saw he does Periscope. He popped up on Periscope, right? And I thought I'll check it out later. He'll be on for a while. And so I went back to see what he'd done. I thought he was still up, right? And the video was gone. It turned out he did this just a few second video. Is like, ah ha ha, I told you, ah ha ha ha, and he's laughing like the Joker, and then he stops. Okay, so undoubtedly he predicted the Raiders are going to go 0-3. Okay, fine. If you tuned into my show, and hey everybody, how you doing? I'm live because the reason I'm live is I tried to use YouTube to make a standard video, and for some particular reason, and I think I'm guessing what the reason is, it was offline, and where it said we couldn't upload. And I think what's going on is between, I think the major thing is Tiger Woods winning for the first time in 5 years, and his 80th contest, and then you've got the NFL games, and of course, this is the final Sunday of Major League Baseball. The A's are getting clobbered by the Rays, I think, 5-1 in the ninth with 2 outs. Richard Hike is Zenny62 vlogger that's there. And so you've got all this stuff going on, and I'm just speculating that because of it, YouTube is just flooded with videos. I got one video up, and that was about Tiger Woods' win, and then I tried the Raiders one, and it was like, YouTube not available, YouTube not available. I thought, man. So, all right. So I thought I'll do it live stream, and it worked, Actually, almost didn't work. But anyway, all right. The Raiders are in trouble both on the field and off. Let's recap this week. It's not so much the week because Sunday always marks a new week, right? Let's go back to Thursday. Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting, and MGM Resorts president Bill Hornbuckle basically tearing the Raiders a new one over the parking plan, saying that talking about MGM, which pretty much owns the Las Vegas Strip, at least the part of it that's not Las Vegas Sands, okay? Saying we feel choked out because they're not part of the Raider parking plans. And telling Don Webb, hey, basically, we don't like this plan, and you have to change it. That was when someone who represents one of the most powerful casinos in the world talks to you like that, you got to take notice. So that was, strike one, all right, for the Raiders. Strike two occurred the very next day, folks. All right, the very next day. What happened? The board meeting of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority, which Zenny62 Media covered. So, all right, what went down in closed session basically went like this. The Raiders presented a counteroffer to what was presented to them by the JPA. And, the counteroffer the Raiders presented said this, very simply: we will sign the lease if you put this clause in it that basically says you, City of Oakland, will not sue us. Okay? That's the way that went down. So the board basically said, are you crazy? Or you crazy? All right? And didn't sign it. Said, hey, sorry. No can do. Which kind of sends a signal that they intend to sue him, I would think. All right. So then, of course, that happened. And then we've got, ta-da, today. The Dolphins beat the Raiders 28-20. Okay? So, there you go. That's the week. That is the situation for the Raiders. Now, oh, I forgot one other matter. The NFL Network put it out there that the Raiders front office was having some sort of division, such that in scouting, okay, and such that Gruden apparently only talks to his people in the office, and he doesn't talk to Reggie McKenzie's people, so there's this division. Now, I know the NFL Network. I'll tell you, the league, that's the league's organ. And they're not putting out anything that isn't basically the corporate stamp. So here they're basically fanning the flames. They did it with their head guy, Ian Rappaport. Fanning the flames for maybe you think Jon Gruden would be let go? Something? Because then, think of what Gruden did last week, right? Gruden comes back and he says, well, you can't win without pass rushers. Sending the signal that maybe it wasn't him that had the idea to cut Khalil Mack or to trade him, okay? Maybe it was Mark Davis. Maybe, right? So all of a sudden, this bombshell story gets dropped on Gruden's lap. I mean, that's not cool, man. That's kind of like, really? And you would say, well, Zinni, why would you say the NFL Network would be doing something like that deliberately? And I'll tell you why. Because I went to interview a fellow I know who's with the NFL Network about a story that this person broke. I'm not going to name who they are. Person said to me, hey, I'd love to talk with you about it on camera, but, the league, I'm not going to do that. I got to get permission for everything I do. We've got a certain way around here. So, and I say, hey, man, I completely understand. So, having said that, right, if the league allows some message like that to be put out, who do you think it came from? I think maybe it was Mark Davis. Whatever it was, it wasn't Jon Gruden. Okay. Gruden has between Jon Gruden and Mark Davis, they both put out a lot of bad karma. I mean, hey, Chris says Bears win. The Bears win? Wait a minute. Chicago Bears lost, actually. The Bears lost to the Cardinals, according to the NFL Network, 14-10. As I thought, unless I read that score incorrectly. That's they had it. They had it. Cardinals 14, Bears 10. You're saying that's wrong? Let me know, because I watched the NFL Network and they had the wrong 1-loss record for the Bears. They had them at having 1 win and 1 loss, right? And then they had the Cardinals at 0-2, and I thought, okay, 16-4. Chris L says 16-4. 16-4 what? Because I had, I'll straighten that out later, but getting back to the Raiders. The Raiders game against the Dolphins turned out kind of like I thought it would. The Raiders are going to take the lead and essentially blow the lead and losing. It's just that I thought the Dolphins were going to show the pattern of doing it on the ground. They didn't. The Dolphins did show one pattern, very consistent. They get more points out of their plays than the next guy or gal. But, assuming gal owns the team. But you can see why. They have exotic plays, trick plays that gain a lot of yardage. Chris L says Mack forced a fumble, Bears kicked field goal. Okay, so what was the final score? Because I can't take this out. It says nobody beats the Dolphins in Miami in September, says Jay Boogie. Hey, a lot of people were there. Mike Lowry was at the game. Love to hear his take. I wonder if Octavio made the trip from Argentina to go over there. Octavio. Got to send Octavio shares. Yeah, so anyway. The Raiders. So what do you want to do? Now, oh, and then on Twitter, this guy puts hashtag fire Gruden. What do you think? Do you think Jon Gruden should be fired? Or do you think Jon Gruden's going to get fired? He said that, Gruden said that if he was, I think he said if he was 0-3, he'd give Davis his money back. I'm pretty sure he said something like that, right? Now, there's saying that, and there's actually doing that. So this is going to be a pivotal week in the history of the Raiders. And then Gravescript says, should have stayed in California, shaking my head. Yeah, should have stayed in California. Should have built a stadium at the Coliseum. They just, and really also, my mom, who I'm out here visiting, said it best. She said, the Raiders lost. And I said, hey, Mom, the Raiders lost. She said, good. And because they paid that owner, that owner paid him $100 million, saying about Gruden. And then he said he doesn't want to talk to you, so you know I don't care about the Raiders. That's what she said. Excuse me. Get bugs around here. Whew. First day of fall in Georgia, still feels like summer. Gorgeous sky. Take a look at this, folks. This is you got to see this gorgeous sky. See that? Look at that. Nothing lovelier than a Georgia sky. I didn't see what you wrote down there. Sorry if you could repeat that. Or if you want a comment to stick so I read it, you can put in some, like, you know, a couple bucks or whatever. I'm not going to be on long. I'm actually here to work out, but again, for those of you just joining, perhaps all of what? One of you? 23 of you. Wow, it's 23 of you. Hey, everybody. Forget that. I'll stick around for a little bit. And G. Taylor says, I'll let Mac in charge. Ouch. Al left Mark in charge. Yeah, he did. Hey, so somebody give me the actual Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals score, please, because the NFL Network had it Cardinals 14, Bears 10, as if it were a loss, or maybe, you know, or something like that. It was, you know, or maybe it was in the middle of the game. Maybe, you know, that's why, you know, come to think of it, it might have been in the middle of the game. And if I go to check the score, I would wind up shutting off the live stream. Can someone post the score of the game? The actual score, because they had it all wrong up there, obviously. They had the Bears, everything was wrong. I think or maybe, you know what, maybe I was reading it wrong, and that it was, the Bears were ahead, the Cardinals were ahead of the Bears. Okay. Jay Boogie says, it's extremely hot and humid in Miami in September. All teams gas out in the fourth quarter, not just the Raiders. Hey, but Jay Boogie, get this, though. The Raiders' loss pattern was very similar last Sunday. So, I mean, you can say it was the elements, right? But, all right, fine. I mean, how many, you know, a win's a win. It's not like it's the first time these guys have played in conditions like that. Are you willing to say, or maybe this is the case, hey, you think maybe it's because the Raiders have an older team? I mean, they were actually, the NFL Network people were actually joking about how Jordy Nelson, I think he ran, what, 76 yards, but he was caught by a linebacker, and someone says, oh, he was caught by a linebacker. He was caught by a linebacker. Right? He was caught by a linebacker. And they kept repeating this. He was caught by a linebacker. So guess what, folks? He was caught by a linebacker. Right? Yeah, he was caught by a linebacker. As it was, he had Jordy Nelson, 159 yards in the first half. You know, great game for Jordy all around. I think, Derek Carr was 345 for the day. And but Ryan Tannehill is 299. The Dolphins played to win. They didn't play not to lose. The Dolphins played the game to win. You play the game to win. That's what they did. You don't play it to lose. You played it to win. And, oh, it was Chicago 16-24. Oh, you're saying it was 16-14. The Bears won. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay, so that recap by the NFL Network must have been during the game. So you're telling me the Bears won and Khalil Mack secured the win with a fumble recovery. Holy cow. Okay, so that's totally insult to injury. We've had... so basically, you want to look at it this way. The Chicago Bears are 2-1. And they got Khalil Mack. And the Raiders are 0-3. And hey, how you doing? Live stream. The Raiders the Raiders lost for the first time. They're 3-0 since what? 0-3, excuse me, 2010 or something. So anyway, it's hilarious. But of course, the Falcons here are lost to the Saints. 42-37. Yeah, 42-37. 42-37. Wow. Hey, folks, I will be back later tonight. I am going to go in and do my workout now. Oh, I told you about the Coliseum, the JPA meeting, right? And if I didn't, I'll say again. The JPA board voted, basically, oh, cool, okay. Oakland Athletics, all right. The Coliseum JPA board took a, a vote. Hey, you know what? The board, they said, hey, you know what? We're not going to sign this Raider agreement because it has a clause that says we can't sue them, which kind of means they're going to sue them. All right. That was on Friday. Parking deal we know about. We'll talk about all the rest of that later. Thank you, and I'll see you. And please, if you haven't done so before, subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube.